Hello, BookTube. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Here I am again with another contribution to the infinite, interminable YouTube, BookTube, Bookhaul wars. And I actually got these last week and just haven't really been up to making videos these days. Nothing really extravagant or outstanding or unusual in any of these books. No wild reaches, no gratuitous pickup of books that for nostalgic purposes that I used to own and maybe, gee, it'd be fun to read again. But still a very serviceable, very practical little book haul. And so let's get started. I got all these books actually from one of the larger used bookstores in the area, and it's not really a cheap place to buy books, although within the store there is a bargain section, and I did get one of the books from there. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's a video going around that I haven't responded to yet, but has to do with how has YouTube or BookTube changed the way you read or buy books or things like that. And since I've been on BookTube now for about 6 months, and I definitely buy fewer books, and I'm much pickier about the books that I buy. Have really gotten away from buying brand new books, and have only gotten books from used bookstores or used books from Amazon, or in a couple cases books that were greatly reduced in price. So this is sort of a continuation of that kind of change in behavior for me. But in any way, without further ado, just one nonfiction book here, and this is Agent Zigzag by Ben McIntyre, and this is a book. I'll read from the back. It says, Eddie Chapman was a charming criminal, a con man, and a philanderer. He was also one of the most remarkable double agents Britain has ever produced. Inside the traitor was a man of loyalty. Inside the villain was a hero. The problem for Chapman, his spy masters, and his lovers was to know where one persona ended and the other began. Based on recently declassified files, Agent Zigzag tells Chapman's full story for the first time. It's a gripping tale of loyalty, love, treachery, espionage, and the thin and shifting line between fidelity and betrayal. I don't really know much about this book. The subtitle of the book is A True Story of Nazi Espionage, Love, and Betrayal. Again, it's set, I believe, around World War II, and it's by the author Ben McIntyre, who has written several espionage-centered nonfiction books, mostly set around the World War II era. I have several of his other books, and had known of this book for a while. Hadn't really had it on my list, but saw it at the store and thought it would be good to pick up. I'm sure, like most of the other books in this collection, I don't think it's going to go to waste. So there we go. Agent Zigzag by Ben McIntyre. Another book I picked up was James Baldwin's Giovanni's Room. It's a favorite among many booktubers, and it looks like a pretty readable book. It's set in contemporary, back in the 50s, I think, Paris of American expatriates. And it's the story of a young man who finds himself caught between desire and conventional morality. It says James Baldwin's brilliant narrative delves into the mystery of loving with a sharp, probing imagination, and he creates a moving, highly controversial story of death and passion that reveals the unspoken complexities of the heart. I believe it's a story about a man who is in Paris who is engaged. It says here, a young American involved with both a woman and a man. Baldwin writes of these matters with unusual candor and yet with such dignity and intensity. I've seen a couple different references to this on BookTube, and just thought it was probably the kind of book that I would, be able to read. It's a little over 200 pages, probably something I could read in a day if I sat down to it. Again, I think this is probably not a book that's going to sit around unused. The next two volumes are volumes 1 and 2 of a series from Bantam Books on Sherlock Holmes. So let's see. Here is volume 1, and here is volume 2. These volumes weren't exactly on my list, but I have been kind of on the hunt for another set of Sherlock Holmes books or a different set. I have what I think is a Signet books volume 1 that has some of the Sherlock Holmes stories. I have another kind of larger volume that has, I think The Sign of the Four and Story in Scarlet and a few other short stories of Sherlock Holmes, about Sherlock Holmes. But I've been kind of in the market for another volume or another set that maybe was a little more complete. And so I think I was pretty fortunate to find each of these. So again, I think these are volumes 1 and 2 of the Sherlock Holmes stories by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And these editions were from Bantam Books. Finally, and ironically, this was the only book that was officially on my, in my wish list on Amazon, in my cart, that I was looking for. And I almost got out of the store without it. And ironically, it was in the cheap section, the bargain section. And I only noticed it just as I was about to leave the store. And so from that section, I was able to get John le Carre's A Murder of Quality, which I think is, it's one of his earlier books. And I'm thinking it might have been his second book. Looks like it was originally published. I don't know. There's a couple publication dates here. 1962, 1968. Anyway, I thought it was one of his earlier books, and it was one I didn't have, and so I was pretty lucky to get out of there with this volume for $1.59. I'm currently reading John le Carre's Smiley's People, which I think is one of, if not, perhaps the last George Smiley book that John le Carre wrote. And so I read a couple of the George Smiley novels, not obviously in any kind of meaningful order, but I don't think that matters a whole heck of a lot. And I'm sure I'll likely jump to this as soon as I'm done with Smiley's People, and I've got like 30 pages left to that book. So I imagine I will be getting to A Murder of Quality pretty soon. So that's it. Another tiresome, wearisome, frustrated addition to the BookTube Book Haul Wars. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching, and I will hope to talk to you guys all soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.